Secretary of the Interior Ryan Zinke's information from outside organizations comes under the control of a political appointee whose ties to former employers have raised ethics questions. A top political appointee at the Interior Department repeatedly scheduled meetings with his former employers in an apparent violation of federal ethics rules, HuffPost has learned. Todd Wynne, director of the agency's powerful Office of Intergovernmental and External Affairs, worked as the task force director at the American Legislative Exchange Council from 2011 to 2013, overseeing the Energy, Environment and Agriculture Division, and organizing 3 national conferences a year, a copy of his resume shows. He then joined the utility trade group Edison Electric Institute, paying to participate in the ALEC task force he previously led. On October 27, he planned a 30-minute video call with Jennifer Butler, a senior policy advisor at the ALEC-linked State Policy Network, according to calendars released under a Freedom of Information Act request. On December 19, he scheduled another such call with Grant Kidwell, the ALEC director in charge of his former task force. A spokeswoman for ALEC denied that the meeting occurred. 2 days later, Wynne slotted 30 minutes for a call with Rich Lindsay, who heads the Energy and Environment Committee at the oil-funded Council of State Government, where, according to his CV and financial disclosures, Wynne also served as a committee member from June 2015 until he joined the Interior Department. It's unclear what might have been discussed during the calls, and indeed, HuffPost could not confirm whether they definitely took place as scheduled, but the calendars of agency officials are generally reliable. The Interior Department and the 3 political operatives did not respond to HuffPost's requests for comment. Todd Wynne appears in a video posted on YouTube by the conservative Cascade Policy Institute, one of his former employers. But on October 16, Wynne signed President Donald Trump's ethics pledge prohibiting political appointees in the executive branch from participating in any particular matter involving specific parties that is directly and substantially related to one's former employer or former clients. Barred interactions include any meeting or other communication relating to the performance of one's official duties with a former employer or former client, unless the communication applies to a particular matter of general applicability and participation in the meeting or other event is open to all interested parties. The scheduled calls also appear to violate the government-wide regulatory standards of conduct that bar Wynne from meeting personally with any former client or employer he served in the year prior to the meeting, Walter Schaub, the former head of the Office of Government Ethics, said in an email. Apparent conflicts of interest are not new at the Interior Department. In March, HuffPost reported that Lori Mashburn, the agency's White House liaison, attended 2 private events hosted by her former employer, the Conservative Heritage Foundation. Her attendance violated the same ethics pledge Wynne signed. In May, newly released calendars showed David Bernhardt, the Interior Department's Deputy Secretary, met with a trio of lobbyists for MGM Resorts International, the casino resort giant that his longtime former employer also represents. Wynne has been a rising star in the influential network of fossil fuel-funded think tanks that push policies and produce pseudo-scientific research to muddle the debate on climate change. He maintained those ties since taking over in a critical position that controls the flow of information at the Interior Department, serving as a gatekeeper between Secretary Ryan Zinke and outside organizations. In November, Wynne attended an energy conference hosted by the Heartland Institute, a former tobacco industry defender turned aggressive climate change denial outfit. Later that month he met with Reaching America, a group that advocates for increasing fossil fuel extraction as a means of reducing racial inequality. Throughout that month, he held 4 separate meetings with the Property and Environment Research Center, a Montana-based free market group associated with the State Policy Network. This story has been updated with a comment from ALEC, related. Another Trump administration official has an ethics problem. Scott Pruitt's mentor says EPA chief may need to leave as Republican support ruptures. Scott Pruitt faces mounting calls for investigations into Chick-fil-A scandal. Download. Do you have information you want to share with HuffPost? Here's how.